kind of muscles you have? No. Bro, what kind of patterns you have? Or is it just aesthetics?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Training Every Single Day. I started off this morning with a bit of a movement flow, kind of inspired by Conor McGregor. If you know, Conor McGregor was trained by Ido Portal for his fight with Nate Diaz. And, you know, that was one of the things that really popularized Ido Portal himself. I'm not really sure how I came to know about him, but that was kind of the biggest influence I've had in recent times. When I first started training, I started off with martial arts when I was a young kid, and then, you know, when the only time that I really self-directed and really knew that I wanted to train was when, you know, I saw a Cali Muscle video, and then ever since then I was into bodybuilding for quite a while. Several years, about 6 or 7 years, and then eventually I, you know, realized I wasn't really going to be quite healthy enough to do bodybuilding, so I ended up getting into, you know, handstands and then breakdancing, and then, you know, right now I'm with my general movement practice, training for general kind of movements. It's overall, I much more like it. It's much more rewarding. You can see the progress every day. You can really develop. Ever since I was a young child, I really knew that developing full mobility in all the joints, and now I'm more focusing on fortifying those joints as well, is one of the best, what I think leads to the best performance, the best capabilities, the most potential in your movements. To have full mobility of the joints, very strong and functional joints, and then also being able to, you know, be able to do this complex movements, be able to express creativity, being able to flow and really move, have the intelligence of a mover, general movements. Ido Portal said that humans evolved to move. Movement is the biggest thing to us. I'm not too sure about that, but it is definitely, I think, the best fitness kind of philosophy that there is out there. Using the wall, using the floor, no need for any equipment, though I still think equipment is great, especially once you understand movement. Then you can have a lot more freedom when it comes to using equipment to train with. All of it's great. I think I'll be using some sandbag later on. Haven't used that in quite a while, but here working some mobility, really good way to build the mobility in the upper back and throughout the entire body. Hanging is also very important. Doing some dead hangs. I normally do this after I eat. I'll eat and then do some dead hangs. All of it is really quite, well, it's kind of plateauing with the dead hangs, unfortunately, but I do still think it's an important thing to train hanging. Maybe I think I'll progress it by hanging for longer periods of time. I think that's how I will try to progress in the future. It's just kind of hard because this my feet kind of will scrape the ground. So maybe I'll hang for a longer period of time, even with the feet on the ground. Feet on the ground hanging is still very good. Very great way to decompress the spine, be your own kind of natural chiropractor. And then outside. I did a lot of good things outside today. I did some good tumbling and some good balance on the slack line. Been a while since I've done the slack line. So even though I took a break, I'm still improving each time I get back at it. My balance is getting a lot better. My slacklining technique is really good. Unfortunately, I think there is some negative transfer between bouncing on a slackline and bouncing on a stable surface. I do feel like they aren't exactly the same, and they kind of have some negative transfer with the skills. So be careful. Train specifically with what you want, and I specifically trained to be very general. I'm really happy with this tumbling session I did today. working with the round off into the backflip. This was one of the first times I was able to do a round off and a backflip. So look at that, really great. It's a really cool one. Really happy with that one, how that one turned out. I've also been playing around with walking, kind of changing, adding some sort of complication to the walk off camera. Either lowering slightly, that it changes the technique. Also having different foot techniques like I've done in some ankle training videos. You can check out the tutorial how to never break your ankle again. Just complications to basic movements, to the things you do every day, just to add some variety and some spice to it. I saw this baby deer today, and she was really playing with her mama deer, this little Bambi here. I saw a deer straight up punch the other deer. It was really funny. Something you might see like a cat do. But I saw it with the deer. I'm really sorry I didn't get that on camera. And here, getting into some stretching. Not nighttime stretching. Nighttime stretching comes a little bit later. But if you made it this far in the video, you got to leave a like. You also got to comment. You got to subscribe and follow my Instagram in the bio. Best way to support the channel. And in the bio, I meant my description. That leads you to the bio. Cossack squats work really well. Developing kind of kicking and using the hips. I was able to do the splits today, calves to the ground, but this is kind of like the splits comes and go, but now I'm able to do it anytime I want. This was kind of a tough time, or it was a little bit more difficult than normal. And then the bridge, and I did some head bridges too to develop the neck. I've been wanting to train my neck a little bit. I haven't been kind of neglecting that somewhat, so it's good to do a little bit of bridging for me, just to engage the neck somewhat throughout the time that I'm here. And this movement right here is pretty good, of a stretch and a strengthening all at the same time. Don't forget juggling. One of the things that makes us better than any other animal in the world is our ability to throw things. And our ability to catch things is really nice as well. We have a really large part of our brain developed to throwing and catching things, and it's really what makes us better than other animals. So develop your throwing and catching, take care of yourself, and take care of others too. Bye-bye.